Adam, so this board's named after your dog, yeah? Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Ricky Bobby. This is my race partner, Cal Naughton. And if you don't ride AJWs, then you suck. Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Trip Forman. Today we have Adam Warden with us from AJW Surfboards, and we are talking about the AJW Acid Cat. Adam, what's the deal with this board? What was in your head? Hopefully not anything to do with the name.
I do not
when you were
promote
making
acid.
it. Some people think it's named after your dog. What's going on with the Acid Cat?
Okay, so this board originated and actually kind of when I first started working with Matt Miola out of Maui. Matt Miola is the aerial fanatic. So he contacted me very randomly. I'm friends and was making boards for his cousin.
Who's his cousin?
Logan Kamen,
Okay.
New Jersey.
Okay.
There's a surf shop, Eastern Lines, up in New Jersey we used to sell to a lot. And so he contacted, saw some of his boards, and said it was the first Stab High Waco event at the Waco pool. And he contacted a couple different surfboard brands and ordered multiple different boards to try for the event. And he called me up and said, hey, never tried any of our boards. And he said, I want you to make me a board specifically good for the wave pool and it does big airs. It has a lot of pop. The key words were it needs to have a lot of pop and it needs to be forgiving landing, the airs. Now, at the time I had never even been to Waco. I assumed everybody was making epoxy and EPS boards for it.
Right.
He did not want to ride epoxy or EPS. So we ended up coming up with this design. I took a model that we have, the X Stump, and then the main thing I did for that was we pushed a lot of foam up in here, thinking for coming down forgiveness landing, and we softened the rail line up in here. So this was going to be kind of the landing pad. Typically when guys are doing airs, they're shifting their feet up. So that was the concept there. And then the tail rocker, we did a little lower tail rocker strictly for speed. It's pretty wide in here to a little bit narrow in the back. And we did a little flatter and kind of a little boxier in the tail. We just tried one. He went there and he said basically he loved the board. He said the main description of this design was as he's coming off the lip and he hits the section, in his mind he would project a certain distance, and this one specifically had another gear where it just went a little bit higher.
Okay. So more pop.
So then we started making some more, and supposedly it worked great in the wave pool. And then, yeah, we started doing more boards for Matt. And that's when he contacted us. I flew to Maui. We started trying a bunch of different boards, and yeah, now Matt rides for us. And it was pretty much starting with this design.
Awesome. So I guess it worked if he's riding for you.
So now he does ride this board in smaller waves and specifically for airs.
Okay.
However,
but he lives on Maui.
He lives
so
on
smaller is like relative.
Well, in Maui, when it's bombing or when he surfs a lot, it's actually pretty solid waves.
Right.
So once you're in overhead waves, due to the flatter tail and the little bit boxiness, it does kind of want to, it cannot have as much bite and hold.
So what's the range on this thing? Like where's the small and the big?
So for your average guy, typically likes this in more of a little more of a groveler. Let's call it waist to head high waves.
Okay, so if you're riding all shortboards, this is going to be like your small wave shortboard.
Yeah, more of a small wave groveler.
Okay, all right.
And we have gotten a lot of really good feedback from pretty much your average guy out there saying, specifically in a little mushier waves, kind of California or like think lower trestles type of waves, it's a little more forgiving. This is a good all-around board for your average guy. It's easy. It's a very easy to surf board. It's pretty much the best way to describe.
Okay, so if you have a general like retail surfboard customer coming off of a hybrid style board, and they're looking to get into like more of a shortboard performance board, this would be a good one for that?
It does paddle good because of this extra area up in here, and since the tail rocker is a little bit flatter, it is a user-friendly board.
Okay.
I'd probably say this is our most user-friendly performance board.
Let's talk about tail block, because you're talking about pop. And then I think when a lot of people look at this thing, the first thing they notice is like how wide this is right here. What does this do for pop, and what does this do for small waves, like widening this thing out? Widening, that's a really hard word to say.
So
widening.
it's actually this range is kind of where it does get wider.
Okay.
So the spread of the fins and all that is a bit wider. Basically more surface area in the back and a little boxiness if you feel it's a lot thicker right here than it is here.
Okay.
So it's a little more of a platform to push off of.
Okay, I got you. A lot more of a ramp.
Yeah. More
Okay.
Of a ramp.
All right, cool. Awesome.
And that's the Acid Cat. I would say getting into a little larger waves due to the flatness and stuff, it's a little bit, it's not designed specifically for really hollow waves or per se. It's more of forgiving waves is the best way I'd recommend for it.
Okay.
Small or medium, everyday beach break waves. That's
Okay.
what I'd suggest this for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Adam, thank you for joining us and talking about the Acid Cat. If anyone out there has any questions on the Acid Cat or any of the other AJW models, or would like to place an order for one, you can always call us at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Trip. It was fun.